the league has... JJ.
Bobbies! Don't be rude! Don't be rude! Come on. Don't be rude. Come here. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me back on my channel for another episode of No Coin Drop Required. I have a little bit of a special guest today because this guy really enjoys talking to my guest on today's show. So, if anybody's ever wondering, this is JJ. Can you say hi? No, he doesn't want to say hi. You don't want to talk to me because you want to talk to our guest today, right? Yes. He loves talking to my guest on today's show, which is the absolutely fabulous Lauren Gray. So I was so excited to have Lauren on my show and get to talk to her and get to interview her because we all know she is the host of Backbox Pinball podcast and she is usually the one doing the interviewing, so it was so fun to have her as an interviewee on today's show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. I am so excited that I finally get to talk and interview Lauren Gray. We've talked about you so much on the show and I always like mention you when I'm on stream and I listen to your podcast and I'm like, when do I get the chance to talk to her? And when do I get to interview her? So now the interviewer gets to be the interviewee. Have you done any interviews before?
I've done a few. I did an interview with the Loser Kid podcast, and I did an interview with Pinball Players podcast with Jeff Parsons, and then Jeff Hillis interviewed me for Pinball Profile. So I've never done an on-camera interview like this. So this is totally different. Like this whole video thing is new to me. I'm like, oh my god, they can see my face. I'm not gonna lie, like I put a little bit of makeup on, just I'm like, all right.
I know. I always shower before this too, and do my hair. So I'm like,
my hair is up for a reason. I was like, oh my god, that's not happening.
No, but I did rock the Bells and Chimes shirt today, so I'm rocking my Bells and Chimes shirt. But
Bat arcade going on.
I saw you got electric batter. I saw that when we first joined the video, and I was actually thinking about them the other day. I was like, man, I need to reach out to them because I'm loving what they're doing on Instagram, and I think Marco picked up on it too, of they post like a really close-up video of a pinball table and you have to guess what it is, and I get stumped every single time.
I haven't got one of those right. I'm like, wow.
I just get
in the know for sure.
Yeah, I get excited when I know it, so I'm like, yes, I made it, and I messaged them and I was like, please keep doing this because I look forward to it every single day. But for those of you who don't know, I'm sure everybody knows Lauren way more than they know me, but Lauren Gray, Backbox Pinball podcast. I'm so excited that you're able to join me today. So I know this is coming up as a big deal for you because June 3rd, I think it is 1 year.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be recording my 50th episode this week, so I was really excited about that. A lot of podcasters don't make it past 7 episodes, so I was actually quite, I didn't know that statistic. I was like, well, I beat the odds. But thank you so much for having me on the show. I always as a creator, you think that you're in this bubble and no one cares. It's like no one likes it, no one listens, whatever. So when somebody hey, I want to have you on the show, I'm like, oh my god, you really like me, want to talk to me, that's great. So so thank you so much for having me on the show. Yeah, I can't believe it. It's gonna be a year. My baby's a year old. My baby's learning to walk.
Well, I hope I make it past that statistic too. I think you're the so I just posted episode 5. And then I have 3 that I have to edit, so you'll be 9, so...
See? You're there!
I'm good. Well, as long as I edit them and post them, then I'll beat the statistic. But hopefully by the time this one comes out, which should be the end of May, I beat it, so... But I was actually going back, so I've been listening for about 6 months is when I discovered you. I think it was the Kate Martin episode right after Whipped was the first episode that I listened to. But I went back and obviously listened to all of them. And in your episode 0, you talk about a co-host.
I did.
Yes. So did you ever end up getting somebody who wanted to co-host or
there have been people, so I love everybody I've had on the show. Like, I mean, all my guests have been amazing, and that was the concept I wanted. I wanted to introduce more women, or, you know, to tell more stories. And when I started, I was like, because I do have a radio background, it is much easier to volley against another person. And when you have a co-host, you develop a rhythm, you get to know each other. It makes it a lot easier. You know, there's been a few women I've had on the show where I'm like, you're a maybe. Like right now, and the thing about having a co-host is then you're kind of, I don't want to say beholden, but you kind of like, you know, oh man, now I got to check in with so-and-so. I got to kind of sync so-and-so's schedule. And I'm already syncing schedules for guests, so I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like, nobody else can yell at me except me when I don't get stuff edited on time.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe no co-host, but there are a few women that I've had on where I'm like, yeah, we're very simpatico, and I think, like, if I ever did have a co-host, there's a short list. Like, if there were women that were interested, there's definitely a short list.
But not yet. Nobody yet.
Not yet, no. The not in the near future. Maybe someday, or maybe like a reoccurring guest host may come on, but for right now, it's just me and the guests.
So for those people who have not listened to Backbox and I do this every single time, Backbox Pinball Podcast, talk to me about what the... I'm sure you can go back to like countless videos of me and I'm like talking about it, or like streams and I'm like Backbox Pinball Podcast. And it's just it's like whenever I try and say like grocery store, it like flows together. But talk to me about like what the concept was and why you do what you do, and you know who you talk to and all that fun stuff.
Sure. So the podcast came along. I like podcasts in general. I just said I have a radio background. I worked in radio, doing like on air and producing stuff for 6 years. And I left that. I do something completely different now. I work in IT. But I missed that creative element. And as I was listening to podcasts, I had several favorites. Some of them aren't even around anymore. But I was noticing a theme, like, I'm not judging or anything, but there are more men in the hobby than women. We all know that statistically to be true. But I was hearing the same people on the same podcast and the same stories. And I'm like, you know what? There's all these awesome women that I play with and all these awesome women that I know. I want to hear their stories. And it wasn't like, you know, the guys weren't telling those stories. It's just, I was like, I want to hear more. So I was like, well, you know what? I will just do my own podcast. Like, how hard could this be?
I feel like that's all of us whenever we try, like, we're like, I got this really great idea. I'm gonna make videos of people, like, interviewing pinball people, and then, like, after episode 2, I was like, what did I get myself into?
That was pretty much my feeling about it. I mean, it's amazing. I love doing the show. It's so much, it enriches my life so much, and it has brought me, you know, to meet so many people and have so many new friends, and I don't regret it, and I wouldn't change a thing, but it is a lot of extra work and a little bit of stress into my life that I was like, I probably didn't need this, but I really enjoy it, and the show kind of came out from just me wanting to highlight women in the hobby and sport of pinball, and just hear those stories, and that's kind of where I've been hoping to lead that conversation for women in pinball.
Well, you're doing a great job because you inspired me. You know, I wouldn't be doing this. I was like, man, Lauren does such a good job. Like, I was like, I will be completely honest. I was so afraid when I started. I was like, oh my gosh, is Lauren gonna be mad at me? Like, I was like, I don't want her to feel like I'm stepping on her toes. Like,
never. And I talk about this in the end of the year episode I did with Stephanie Gaida and Crystal Gemnick. They were the inspirations for me because I was like, I need more content. So I was kind of hoping, I'm like, I hope y'all don't hate me, but I'm gonna do a lady podcast. And this isn't necessarily a lady podcast. They just happen to be 2 lady podcasters that talk about pinball. But they were a huge inspiration for me, as was Mrs. Pin as well. I was just hoping I would add a unique voice and bring something to, you know, the table. And I think you have too. I mean, hey, I'm just about content in general, and if it's like lady pinball content, I'm like, yes, please. I was like, I will have 2 servings of that. Thank you very much. No, I was more of like, show your face. I was like, before the show, guys, I was kind of like, I want to do like video, but I'm kind of like, nah. It's something else. Because I'm trying to record the podcast, and I'm like, man, I got to get the rig and the lighting and the camera, and I'm just like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able.
Well, and I feel like for you with, I know I go back and like I was more in tune to it with the episode that I did with you, because I'm like, ooh, I definitely can hear the edits in there, because you do a really great job of taking out the like and likes and, you know, all of that, and, you know, adding the video element on there, I feel like would be adding like a lot of stress too.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where I want to do it. So the thing was, it's like I'm in those, like, a lot of the podcast groups and things, and maybe this doesn't apply to me per se, but there are people who have are either hearing impaired or hearing challenged, and I thought, well, if they are, then they can't listen to my show because it's a podcast. And I don't do transcripts. I was like, well, maybe I'll just put it on YouTube and they can watch the captions. I mean, if they're really super into it. So that's kind of why I wanted to go the video route, but it is very challenging for somebody who doesn't do video. Like, oh Lord, no.
So not only are you, you know, the host of this, and JJ, don't do it. Don't do it, Bubba. Not only are you the host of this podcast, you're also a coordinator for the Houston Bells and Chimes League too.
San Antonio.
Okay, San Antonio League. So how have you guys been adapting with not being able to go out and play?
That has been really rough. It's been challenging. That was kind of my, you know, escapism besides the podcast, is to go and play pinball with my friends, and the league has JJ.
Bubbies, don't be rude. Don't be rude. Come on. Don't be rude. Come here. Come on. I know. You want to talk too. We all hear. Everybody hears your voice every single time we talk. So don't worry about it.
You've been featured on my podcast. So.
Yes, you have. Yes, you're a star already. Everybody knows who you are.
He's heard my voice, and he's like, "Hey, I know that lady."
That's it. That's exactly it. But pinball was your escapism.
Pinball was my escapism, and we have been trying to do Zoom meetings. So I've been working from home, and my work has, like, I almost want to say it's doubled, because it's just, I don't know, life. But I've been trying to. We've had a couple so far. We just had one this past Thursday, and it's funny because we can communicate with the Bells through our Facebook page, Bells and Chimes San Antonio, and we have friends from Houston and Austin, and so we had Raleigh from the Houston Bells, and she was on episode 1. We had Tracy from the Austin Bells. She's been featured on an episode, I think from this past, I forget, but Tracy Abrams, she's amazing, but her and Kelly Raisler were on an episode as well. That's when you know you've done a lot, because I'm like, I don't remember.
They all run together.
I know who I talked to, but I'm like, I don't remember that episode number at all. But so they came in, so we had our local Bells, we had them, and then, like, my brother from another mother who runs the Open League came in, and we're like, yay! We're like, you can hang out with the ladies. So he came and hung out with us as well, Chris Doyle. But at least trying to have that sense of camaraderie, even though, you know, Earth is closed, and we're trying to make the best of a crummy situation.
Earth is closed. I love it.
That's been my hashtag Earth is closed. That's like
hashtag Earth is closed. I love it.
Yeah, that's been my thing. Is that a thing, Lauren? I was like, is it, like, for real? Like, seriously? Earth is closed. I live in Texas, and I know, you gotta make a face about our people opening stuff back up. And I'm like, man, I was like, where I play pinball, they said no. Like, they're waiting actually until 1 June, which I was super happy about, because I've said this on my show, pinball is filthy, and it's just like, you know, there's just no getting around the fact that your hands are going where other people's hands are, and everybody, I would say most of the pinball community is respectful of, like, that concept. There's some people that just want to go out there, and I'm like, man, all right. I saw a meme where it's like, you know, the pawns go first in a game of chess, and I just laughed. I was just like, y'all can go out there and get sick. I was like, fine. I was like, we'll take that first wave out, and then I will go and play when I feel safe in the summer. But my community, we're very close. We're very close knit. And I'll tell you, I'm actually doing, for episode 50, I'm going to feature my co-lead coordinators, Tina and Christina, and we're going to do like a little San Antonio Belles thing, which I've had Tina on the show because I did like a Pinball Moms episode, but I've never had Christina on the show. I've referenced her, but I wanted to do something fun, but it's just been so challenging. Like we're trying. I mean, you know how it is. You're doing selfies, and you're like in like virtual leagues, and we're like watching, you know, Dead Flip in his huge tournaments and things like that. It's just, there's so little pinball content that you're like, I'm like, gotta make some up.
Well, and it was so one of the things that was so funny was my boyfriend asked me the other day, because him and I, we've taken this social distancing very seriously, but like we're really the only two people we interact with because we don't live together. And we were on Facebook Messenger the other day, and he's like, because I was editing a video, and he's like, what are you gonna do when all of this, like, are you still gonna do this when all this, lets up? And I'm like, yes, but it's gonna look different. And all of our lives have been turned upside down, and we're all adapting in weird ways that when everything goes back to normal, so to speak, there's not going to be a new normal, because we're all going to be used to this lifestyle of being at home, which a lot of people already were. I don't know about you. I was not. I'm a huge extrovert. I was used to going out like all the time. And so when, our governor was like, yep, everything's closed, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Same. And everybody's talking, they're like, hey, Lauren, how are you taking this? I'm like, not well at all. No. I'm like, I got to get out. And, I'm so glad. It's so funny. I don't know if this is, like, just a me thing, but I've talked to other people, and they've said the same thing. I'm trying to make a point of talking to people, but I feel like this isolation has almost affected me in a weird way, where I'm seeing less of my friends. Not like in the sense of, I know that they're available, but I haven't been calling them. Like, it's just so weird. Like, I've internalized this, like, isolation to the point where I'm like, I haven't talked to anybody that's, like, not, like, my family, like, for, like, 5 days. And that's, like, not normal for me at all. I have all kinds of friends, pinball, non-pinball, and it's been a challenge for me. I mean, I know that I probably, like, have, like, the signs of depression, and I'm just like, this sucks. I'm, like, so bummed. Like, I'm just being by myself. So things like this is, like, so awesome. And when I record the podcast, or when I sit in on Zoom calls, whether they be for my league, and some of the Belles worldwide have done a few things where it's, like, a big Belles Meet-Up. That's been super cool. I'm trying to, like, get out there as much as I can, but sometimes it's just hard, because I've really kind of internalized that isolation, and it's had a profound effect on me. And I know that, I think with everybody in the world, this situation and this experience, I think, is going to transform a lot of people. Not only just the way we do stuff day to day, but just, it kind of just is a very transformative moment. The world is not going to, even when we reopen Earth, it's not going to be the same Earth. We're not going to come back to the same thing. It's from here going forward. You're
absolutely right. Like, when Earth reopens, I love it. When Earth reopens, it's not going to be the same Earth that we all know at all. So your location, June 1st, was when they're projecting to reopen at this point.
Correct. They decided to stay closed for May.
Yeah, and which is probably, I know that our locations that we play at I've chosen, actually, I don't think there's any really talk of when they're going to reopen. It's all about what the governor tells us. But, like, so what do you have plans on restarting everything back up really quickly, or are you just kind of see how things go?
Yeah, no. So we've talked about it. It's so hard to make plans in this time because everything's so fluid. And we were talking about this on Thursday when I was talking to the Belles. Spring league is scrapped because we do like a seasonal league, and then we have a seasonal big tournament. So spring scrapped. Spring's gone. We were set to play our last winter league meet and our final it's like a combined thing, and we didn't get to do that, so I'm like, we'll do that so we can close that off.
Yeah.
And we got trophies and everything, so we'll do that. But I'm hoping that we can kind of get into league in June, at least like the first or second week of June if they reopen. I mean, fingers crossed. Things will have to be a lot different, but the Where We Play has taken What's Brewing, heart emoji, to What's Brewing, awesome coffee shop, pinball arcade in San Antonio.
I'll make sure to put a link in the description, so if you're in I mean, I would say in Texas in general, but it's way different than saying in Texas from in Ohio, because if you're in Ohio, it's a 2-hour drive, but in Texas, it's like 5 hours anywhere you go.
Yeah, it takes you like 10 hours to cross the state, like if you were going from like East Texas through El Paso or something. But San Antonio, I mean, that is the place to play here, and they're amazing. They're super supportive of Belles. They're just, the whole family's super nice. But I want to get started as quickly as I can. But, I mean, things are going to have to change, and we're just going to have to figure out how best to make that work. So I'm hoping that by June that we can start our summer league, and then we do something called Summer Slam, which is our big summer tournament. There's a belt, very much akin to what Kim Martinez did with her event.
Do you have this at your house, or does the winner still have it?
No, somebody won it. So Courtney Hernandez, which is one of our members, won the first official SummerSlam belt. It's a white belt, like a white, like legit, like wrestling belt. It's super cute, and it's got like our like logo and everything. And then there's 2 empty discs on the sides, so we can list the winners' names. So Courtney will turn the belt back in, and we'll get her like a little medal she can keep. And then the belt will go to whoever wins the next SummerSlam. So I already told Raleigh, like the Houston Belles and the Austin Belles, I'm like, SummerSlam is happening. Short of like unless the arcade is not open for the summer, we're going. It is a go.
SummerSlam is on, and we'll make sure we put a picture of the belt right here.
Yeah,
so that everybody can see what it looks like.
It's on our Facebook page, but I will make sure to send you the link because it's dang adorable. I love that stupid thing. And we had a bunch of Belles coming, like Houston rolled in like big time, and we had some Austin Belles and. I was so happy they were there, but I was a little excited that I was able to keep the belt in San Antonio. I mean, I didn't win it, but Courtney did, but I love doing events. I love like the big tournaments in our league. It means so much to me. So I definitely want to get started as long as we can do it in a safe way and everybody feels safe and protected. So that their safety is beyond me wanting to like hug everyone and play pinball. Everybody's safety and health is so like that's number one priority.
Gonna start doing like elbow high fives.
Hey, that's why I'm like all like the queen of the elbow meet and greet.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Speaking of because it made me think of this is our TWPIY.
Your TWPIY.
Yes. We're gonna put it in the arcade, but for now it's just at home. But this is the TWPIY that Belles in Time San Antonio won for best pinball league or favorite pinball league, not best. Favorite
pinball league.
For the 2019 TWPIY. So this over here. So but it's my league means everything to me. That's why that award meant like the world because I love the women I play with. They're amazing. They're unique. They're dynamic. They're just strong, fearless people that just make my life better by knowing them. And then I get to play pinball, which is even better. So
you busted out the beer.
I did.
So what are we drinking?
So this is like Lauren's favorite beer in the whole wide world. I'm a cider person for the most part. I drink some beer. I usually drink like Corona or Dos Equis. It's a South Texas thing. But my favorite beer is actually Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. It's my jam. I love it so much. And it was maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I saw like they had the single bottles available. It's like, it's summertime. It's summertime.
It's that season.
It is that season. It's shandy season, y'all. So, this is my favorite. So I was like, well, if I'm going to be talking to my girl, I'm going to have a beer. So
well, and so Leinenkugel's, it's almost like it's almost like a beer cocktail. And I always said if I was ever going to open up a bar, my signature bar would be a beer cocktail bar because you've got your snake bites, right? But there's so many other beer cocktails out there that are actually really good that people don't know about. And I would be like, yeah, I'd go to a beer cocktail. Like, what is this? To like mix things together. And that's almost like what a shandy is, right? Because it's like lemonade and a light beer together, which makes a nice like I can just sit and like chill and drink shandies all day in the summer because it's so refreshing.
It's very refreshing. It's a fun summer drink. I'm a citrus person. Like, I like citrus-based stuff. Besides shandy, my other favorite thing, because I like margaritas, is a burrito. Like, so they'll take a Corona or Dos Equis, dump it in the margarita, and, like, all day long. So, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, for the most part, like, I know beer connoisseurs are, like, shuddering at the thought. But I'm like, I was like, whatever. I was like, drink what you like.
Drink what you like. Who cares? So have you been drinking more margaritas now that you have been at home more?
Yeah. I am staying home or self-quarantining with my family, which, and some of you listen to the podcast kind of know, I am married. I have my partner, Chris. He's amazing. And then we are living with our in-laws, helping take care of them because they're older. They're in their like late 70s. And so they don't drink. So Chris, my husband, bought in the family lush because I'm like, I got a wine rack. Beer and cider, like you open like the second fridge where all the drinks are, you open it, there's like a row of beer and cider, and I mean, I was doing, a couple weeks ago, I did like this like pinball happy hour thing where I was having people on the show, so I was like, let's drink! This was like, okay, this is like becoming a thing. I think, and I was able to do the show, but like I was talking to the Boston Belles on a pinball happy hour, and I went through like half a bottle of wine, and I'm like, all right, I gotta keep myself together. Professional, but I'm a little drunk right now. So I'm like, okay, be cool.
Girl, it's me. Like, you know. So I actually am so sorry. I was talking on another show a couple of weeks ago. I'm so pumped for TPS next year. You know, TPS, if you didn't know, announced their dates last week, that they're gonna be for 2021. And my goal is to go down to TPS. Especially because I haven't been able to get to like the majority of the shows this year, so all that money that I would have been spending, now I'm saving, so I'm pumped to be at TPS, and you know it's gonna be game on when we see each other, because we've never met, so.
We've not met in real life.
Yes, we have not met in. Yes.
But I think TPF is one of those, I think it's going to be a big show, because realistically, when they kind of come back to the show season, the next big thing is replay. Replay, realistically, we've been talking, may not even happen.
Right.
So after that, you've got a few shows in like October, you got Expo and things like that, but then, you know, the season kind of shuts down for the wintertime, and the next big show is TPF. So for me, it's going to be like a big thing. I mean, I'm going to bring my trophy with me. I will carry it around. It'll be a chance. And I was so excited because I was going to get to meet so many people, because we were all like, we're going to meet up at TPF. We're going to meet up at TPF. I was even doing like a Belles Mimosa Meet-Up at the swap meet the second day. Like I had planned, I was trying to get my champagne together and stuff. And I had the flyer, and then they're like, we're canceling. I'm like, no.
But they announced 2021, so which is
it's just like game on. I'm like, I'm gonna scratch out 0, write 1.
Which is so weird to think right now that's a lot of the things that a lot of people are like in the mindset of. They're planning for 2021 now, because we've all kind of just given up on 2020. We're like, it's over, it's done. Yeah. I'm over 2020. 2020's done. Yeah. Bring on 2021. I'm ready for it.
But you know, in the greater scheme of things, you know, I'm very happy to be healthy and safe, and and I've been very lucky. So I mean, like, in my first world problem of like, boo-hoo, I can't go to my pinball tournament, but I was still really sad.
Yeah.
And there's a, you know, I definitely next year, I definitely want to do replay and TPF, because for me, it is a bit like, yeah, I gotta travel, I can't drive there, and then I was like, I gotta fly. The hotels are so expensive, and I was like, what the hell? So I actually got, I was trying to get like an Airbnb, and that wasn't like, I was like, man, I mean, hey, I'm going to put the thing out there. If you guys want to get together and do an Airbnb, I'm all down for that. So just put that out in the universe.
I'll make sure to throw your name out into the hat and say, hey, remember Nora next year. Yeah, because it is an easier way to do that versus, you know, trying to get a hotel by yourself or an Airbnb by yourself. Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, the earth is shut down, right? There's no more pinball. You're still working on your pinball podcast. I'm so pumped for the 50th episode. I can't wait till that comes out. Yay. What else are you doing? And, you know, since you can't go out and play, and you're not coordinating events for the league and all that fun stuff.
You know, a lot of work. I'm very lucky that I still have a job and I'm able to work from home, because my day job is I travel and teach IT. I teach cybersecurity. So I am always on the road quite a bit. That's why you always see pictures of me in different arcades, is because I'm on the road. So I've been home. So I've been writing a lot of curriculum for my job.
Okay.
But the fun stuff, I've been doing a lot of reading. I'm a big reader, so that's kind of been keeping me occupied. I've been playing some pinball. I had an Addams Family for a couple weeks. Had to stop renting that because we weren't playing. My husband and I were like, we're not playing as much as we should be for what we're paying for the rental. I'm like, I can see that point. So I'm like sans pinball, but I did break down and buy a Julie pinball machine from American Girl, so that should be here shortly. I'm very excited about that. It'll be pinball, kind of. So, trying to, calm myself and, kind of do some like self-development and just kind of, work on myself a little bit and, just trying to keep that work-life balance because I've never worked from home before.
Okay.
And I think for people who've never worked from home, it's a challenge because I'm like, oh, well, I'm always at work because I'm at home.
Right.
So I've been like answering work email at like 11 o'clock at night, which is something I would never do.
Right.
If I was working from home. If I was working at work.
At the office.
At the office. So that, like, finding those boundaries has been difficult, but really just kind of like, some me time, reaching out to friends when I can and doing a lot of reading. Reading's my favorite. I'm a huge reader, so that's been kind of fun to catch up on that.
I've got I don't know if you saw my I just got like a really brilliant idea face. I feel like what you should do for like something coordinate. I do not have one. I don't have a Julie pinball, but you should do a Julie pinball tournament of everybody who's got the American Girl pinball table to do a Julie pinball flip.
There's quite a bit of people.
And there's a lot of people that have gone out and buy it. And I have a friend in the area that so we have an American Girl store in Easton that went into the American Girl store and the salesperson was like, oh yeah, it's Julie's, and like went into this whole background and he's like, I don't care, I just want to buy it. Like, I don't care about like her history, I just want to buy the table.
Pitch me.
Yeah, I'm already sold. I'm gonna get it. So just sell it to me. But that would be super interesting and super fun.
That's a great idea. I love that. I know my girl Laura Fraley, she's been organizing like a virtual like pinball tournament.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm sad because I'm like, I don't have any machines right now. I can't play. But it's I might have to do something with that Julie pinball machine. That's a terrific idea.
Yeah.
I like this.
So
you may see this.
Yes, I hope to see it. I can't wait to see it. I think that would be an absolutely great idea. I was an American girl growing up. So like I got the magazine, I had the doll. I still have all the clothes. I would make clothes for my American Girl doll. She doesn't have any hair anymore because I cut it all off, but.
Oh man, oh my god, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So American Girl was like just before my time. Like when American Girl kind of came through, I was like in my late teens, so it was kind of like, but I remember like when I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But I also cut the hair of my Barbie doll, my favorite Barbie, because I was like, I want her to have cute short hair, and now it is not a fresh look. It looks like she was like some horrible chemical fire, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Barbie, you have beautiful hair. I'm sorry, because this was back in the day of like, okay, so like Barbie looks like Barbie, and like it was very difficult to find Barbie, like a Hispanic Latina Barbie. Like this just wasn't a thing. But my mom found like they did like a Spain Barbie or like Spanish Barbie. She looked like she was like a flamenco dancer or something. It was like, it was very like, I'm like, okay, it's fine. But
was it offensive though, or was it like they were?
I was like 5 or 6. I didn't know. I was like excited that the Barbie looked like me. I was like, she had like dark hair and her skin was a little darker.
Yeah.
I was like, that's great. But then like, as I got later, I was like, you need a short summer cut, Barbie, because and I got in there with my scissors and poor Barbie. She didn't deserve to go down like that. Like,
did you ever cut your own hair?
Sadly, that only happened a few years ago. I had never really taken to cutting my own hair, so this has a funny like postscript. So 5 years ago, I got really drunk during the holidays. I'm like, I want some bangs, because I was feeling very like what's her face, Zooey Deschanel. I'm like, I want some bangs.
Jessica Day.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this. So like normal people, when they get their bangs cut, like only go like up to here. You get like kind of nice little wispy bangs. But then I was like literally like back to here. I don't know what I was drinking. I was like a bottle in of like a Riesling. So it was bad. It was so bad. And my hair's naturally got like a curl, a wave to it. So unless I flat iron my bangs, they would kind of curl and like go like make like a curtain curtain of my forehead. It was not a good look. So I was constantly having to flat iron the dang things. Then I had to wait for them to grow out. In the midst of all this, I meet who is now my husband, and I mean, the bangs were not a good look. Like, the bangs work on so many different people. They are not a fresh look for me. I want them to be, but they just aren't. And I find out later, he's like, yeah, I hated your bangs. He was like, I hate bangs in general, and your bang, I did not like your bangs. I was like, oh, are you serious? I was like, you just said that to my face? We were already, like, this was only like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, I hate bangs. I'm like, and I was like, you dated me anyway? He's like, yeah, I had to kind of go past that.
Oh, no.
Like them. I was like, ah.
That was the same thing I told my boyfriend, because like I always like I so totally relate to like Zooey Deschanel and like her personality and whatnot, and I always ask, I'm like, baby, should I get bangs? And he's like, no, don't do it.
It's like they know you'll regret it, and like all of our pictures, like when we're dating, like there's like several pictures I have like from us dating, and I have the bangs, and he's like, yeah, I did not like those, and finally like my hair is grown out and it's fine, 5 years later, but there's a picture of me from that night, and it's actually a cute picture, but it's like I'm like, I look like a freaking moron. I know that I'm drunk in that picture, but I'm like, with the bangs. Yeah, so and there's a couple where you can see like I'm starting to like I'm at like a bar and I'm sweaty and like they're starting to like,
oh no.
Like, no. Like try to fix that.
That was the worst. Yeah.
Don't go back here, people. Don't do that. Like that's because I was trying to be like like you're there with a comb like drunk combing your hair. I'm like no, this looks good. And they like take like kitchen shears. They're not even like hair scissors or like the scissors that come out of your junk drawer. I'm like I got this. All right, right near my eyebrow. That's it. That's the line. That's the line. So
that's what a lot of people are doing right now, though. The pandemic bangs is what they're calling it.
People, because so my hair is just growing out. I get it colored. That's the only thing I haven't done. But my husband, he keeps it pretty short, and I keep on telling him, I was like, I got the clippers. I was like, we can make it work. I was like, I'll make your dreams come true. Let's do it. And he's like, you're not coming near my hair. And I'm like, he's like, first of all, there's a 2 here, and like, he's like, there's like 2 and like an 8 or something. Like he's like, and you have to blend it. I was like, it'll be fine. I was like, well, just don't be like a line. It'll be okay. I was like, you want me to come at you with scissors? He's like, no, I don't want you to come at you.
I've seen your bangs. I'm good.
So I'm like, it'll be okay. I'm like,
Cooking from home.
So I actually love to cook. I wanted to be a pastry chef. That was like my first career choice when I was, in my early, late teens, early 20s. And that didn't happen. I always thought if money were an object and I was able to do whatever I want, it may be like something pinball themed, or I would own a food truck. Like I love to cook. But COVID has sucked the fun out of cooking. Like I know. I'm so tired. I'm like there's a sidebar I'll have to talk about. Like I fell down the other day, so I like injured myself, and I'm like, I don't cook anything. I don't want to cook anymore, because it's like I'm cooking for 3 different people, 2 of which are much older, and then my husband, and like nobody wants the same thing. Like so I end up making like, and I don't know how the rest of you guys are, but I end up making like the same 10 things, like chicken casserole, spaghetti, like the things that I know they'll like. They're very meat and potatoes, so I don't, it's not like I can bust out tabbouleh on them, it's like, that's just not gonna work. But they're great, but it's just like, I'm overcooking. I didn't realize how much I ate out until I got home and like was cooking way more than I used to, and I'm like, I've made cookies and all kinds of, I've done a lot of different things, so I'm kind of like, I was excited they were opening restaurants, but I was just like, I wasn't feeling up to it yesterday. I was like, whatever, just go pick something up. I was like, I don't even care. We've been trying to like be supportive, because I have a lot of friends who work in the restaurant industry, and it's been really rough for them. And so we've been trying at least once a week to go and like pick up something from like a restaurant. I live in San Antonio, like the suburbs. I live in a small town outside of San Antonio, so there's not a lot to choose from. So I'm like, all right, here are like our 5 options. And it's like, ugh. And my husband was like, I'll go into town for you. Like, that's how it is. It's like Little House on the Prairie. Like, let's load a wagon and go to town. But I was just like, no, it's all right. It's fine. I was like, But yeah, no, I fell down, and like, I've like my whole right side of my body is like totally like messed up. I'm like, this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you know you're old. Like when you fall down, and then you've got to take a moment to like assess one, that you can get back up, and two, that you're like, all right, I've fallen. How do I feel about this? And like you have to mentally prepare to like pick yourself up off the ground. Like, I'm old now. I'm so old. It was, and like the thing is like COVID, so it's not like there's anything like I can't go anywhere to like rinse myself off, or like nobody came over to help me because I fell down at a gas station. No, this is the worst part, y'all. So I fell down because I know one of my friends has done this. Sarah, my friend, has done this. I tried to walk over the gas pump, tube, because I was trying to get to something because my driver, it's on my passenger side, so I was trying to get to my purse, and yes, so I cleared the first leg, but I didn't clear the second leg.
Oh, no.
And I went down onto that lovely patch of, like, disgusting humanity that is, like, the oil and gas and, like, muck. And I was like, and I just, like, sat there, like, off to the side, like, I gotta get up. And then I'm like, I can't, like, no bathrooms are open. Like, just, everything's closed. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I'm, like, almost an hour from my house because I was in town. And I was like, so I'm like pouring water on it, like hoping I don't like have like some kind of staph infection. I'm like, I'm gonna lose my leg. This is how I'm
Oh, no.
So I'm like rinsing it off, and it burns so bad because it's like I like my whole arm is sore from the fall, but like my knee is gross. Like it's like literally like I scraped all the skin off my kneecap. Because that's what, it, like, I fell and slid because what I was trying to not have happen is my foot got caught on the gas hose. And what I did not want to happen is for the gas to fly out and be covered in gasoline.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you're like, I'm not mad at anybody else. I just blame myself and my own clumsiness. Like,
yeah, so
I get it.
I was like, do you want some help? I'm like, no. I was super surly, like, if you can imagine me, just like, no, why, get out of your couch. And I'm just, like, boo-hooing in the bathroom, pouring hydrogen peroxide over it, like, it burns. It's like, this is terrible. And then I tried to, like, put, like, a bandage on it with, like, paper. It was a whole thing. It was a sad whole thing. I felt horrible yesterday, like, the day after, like, I couldn't sleep. I slept until like 11 today because I could not get comfy. You know, when you've hurt yourself, like every time I roll over, I'm like, ow. So finally, I took some like heavy duty Tylenol, and I was like, oh, I feel better now. So today I feel like a normal human being. I'm still sore and my knee still hurts. And the thing is, not to be too graphic, y'all, but how is that supposed to heal every time I walk or bend my knee? It's just like, yeah, that's gonna be super fun the next couple of weeks. Yeah. So, super fun. This has turned into like a medical...
Oh no, that's okay, because something like that would totally happen to me. I tripped, like, again, Jessica Day, I tripped just standing still. I'm like, it's happening! Like, I'm falling over just because I trip. I get it, like...
I'm a little klutzy, but I'm always really good about, like, kind of catching myself, or, like, I'll trip and I'll kind of, like, catch myself. This is, like, the first time I've fallen where I injured myself well enough to where I'm like, I don't feel so awesome. I don't feel awesome. But that was just like the funniest thing, because usually, like, before I just pop back up and I'm like, cool. And then like I'm just sitting on the ground at the gas station, like talking about, pep talking myself, like, it's gonna be okay, Lauren. You're not old. I'm like, I'm old. I fell down. And now I'm like saying, like, I probably would say I can't get up, but I'm gonna crawl my way up this gas pump and get in the car.
I know what I'm sending Lauren. I'm sending her a life alert.
I'm gonna try to make it real cool, put some stickers on it, try to like make it look cute.
Put some like nail polish to make it colorful.
It's so true. I like yelled at my dad. My dad just turned 70. My poor dad had like his 70th birthday during COVID, but I'm always making him wear his Apple Watch because like, what happens if you fall? You live alone. What happens if you fall? Now I'm like, okay, Lauren, now you got to get an Apple Watch because what happens if you fall? It's like, dang. God.
So he's gonna send you an Apple Watch for your birthday.
About this. I know him well enough. He's gonna say, "You gave me so much crap about falling," and I'm like, I know.
I don't want to talk about it, Dad. We're more concerned about you. So what, so as we wrap things up, what can people, expect, or like, what's in store, what's new, what should we get excited about, other than your awesome, tripping and falling, because you can expect that from me as well.
So I'm really excited like I said, the 50th episode, we're going to do kind of a San Antonio Belles thing, talk about the TWPIYs, just talk about the league. I'm really excited. I do want to do a special birthday episode. I'm really wanting to get more women on the show. Definitely, I always say it at the end of the show, if you know somebody that you think would be great on the show, or you just want to hear their story, when I started the show, and God forbid, I Googled myself or searched myself on Pinside. That was a horrible mistake. But I remember a couple of people saying, like, she's going to run out of women. Like, that's what they said. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Mm-mm.
No. I'm like,
No.
I have a huge long list. Like, some people, like, I don't want to say I'm more interested, but some people I know, like, oh, I've heard of that person, or they're, like, the friend of a friend. So, like, they're easier to contact. Because some people I've reached out, and they've, like, said no. So, and it hurts my feelings a little bit, but, you know, this is not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm totally fine with that. But the biggest thing's going on, the birthday episode in June. Hopefully we'll get to start back up with Belles. And I've been really excited about, I've done a Patreon, and I've talked about this in a couple of episodes. I've been doing some special enamel pins for, it's super cute. Yeah, no, they're awesome. First off, I have the cool enamel pin, which is super duper awesome. It is sparkly, and it's big, and it's
I can see
for the show, and it's Backbox Pinball Podcast, and the backboard of the backbox is in purple glitter.
Purple glitter, I can see it. Ooh, I want one!
So that is, you can only get that pin if you are a patron of the show. You cannot buy it. You have to actually, you know, get the pin either from me or as a patron.
And I'll make sure to put her Patreon in the description, so if you're interested in supporting her through her Patreon, you can do that in the description.
Yeah, and this is terrible to see. You can't really see it. Same logo, but these are some vinyl decal cut stickers. So as a Patreon member at the $5 level, you can get those. Because I was like, I mean, yes, people are supporting me by paying for the content. I get that, and I appreciate it, but I was like, I gotta give them something. And some podcasters or, you know, vloggers, things like that, they'll do, like, special extra content. I was like, no, I can't make more content, because I'm already, like, struggling to make the content I make now. So I was like, all right, we're gonna actually make, like, stuff, and I love stickers. Like, I'm a sticker person, so I was like, we had the stickers, and then the pins. So I was like, these are fun. So that I just got the pins in, like, right before, like, COVID. So it was like a month ago I got the pins, so I was excited about that. But those are kind of the big things, like, pinball-wise right now, just, you know, waiting for everything to open back up, and just putting out as much content as I can, so you guys can keep me company and, you know, pass the time listening to pinball people talk about pinball stuff. So
if I'm a woman and I'm interested in being on your show, who do I need to contact? Where do I need to go?
You contact moi. It is backboxpinballpodcast@gmail.com. I also have a website. You can go and check out the show. You can check out the guests we've had on. Also, we talk about dream themes, so I have a dream themes list, and that's backboxpinballpodcast.com. And you can, of course, download the show anywhere you listen to podcasts: Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Play,
Spotify.
Anywhere. Spotify. I was like, I'm in all the places. And if you find a place that I'm not at, let me know, because I need to go talk to those people, because I'm like, seriously, my RSS feed is literally everywhere. But yeah, no, if you want to be on the show, or if you know, like, hey, you should talk to so-and-so, they're cool. I was like, I will go talk to them, so yeah. Yeah,
Lauren Gray, everybody, like, I was just so happy to talk to you. I'm so happy that you were on my show. It was an honor for me. A TWPIY award winner was on my show. TWPIY award winner was on my show.
Again, everybody who voted, thank you so much. I've said it a million times, and I will say it a million more. This meant the world to me and to our league. That we won that. It was very emotional, and we really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody that listens, and thank you for having me on. You know, like I said at the beginning, I'm like, you know, it's always a privilege, and just, you know, I was like, I'm a little verklempt, because it's like, oh, somebody wants to talk to me, like, you know, as the interviewer, it's rare that I get to be on the other side of this. So I very much enjoyed this. I was gonna say, so before we wrap things up, how is it like being on the other end? The video part was weird because I'm not used to seeing all my faces because I've been glancing down at the like square that I'm in.
You can't do that. You can't do it. Like, don't look at yourself.
But it was super fun. I love having the video element, you know, even when I'm doing the podcast, because I record in a software that lets you, it's very Skype and Zoom-like.
Yes.
But I've enjoyed it. This was fun. And I mean, I've had you on the show before, so I was like, oh, Jen's got good energy. This is going to be fun. I've seen your show. I'm excited that you're out there putting out content. We need more pinball content, and we need more ladies creating content as well.
Yes, well, Lauren, thank you so much for joining me. I had so much fun. I'm sure after this is over, we're still probably going to talk for a hot second. Which is usually what ends up happening with me. So, but Lauren, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, if you would like to follow Lauren's podcast, backboxpinballpodcast.com. Also on all of the major streaming sites. I know I listen to it on Spotify. I'll also make sure to put the Patreon in there. So if you want one of those super awesome enamel pins, make sure you follow and subscribe to her on her Patreon. But Lauren, thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to see you hopefully at TPF next year.
I hope so.
Yes. And we'll definitely talk to you super duper soon because I'm sure you'll probably be on one of the happy hours that I'm on. So thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys.
Lauren, thank you so much for joining me today. I had so much fun talking with you. I always have fun talking with you, and I love listening to your show. If you are interested in listening to Lauren's podcast, please feel free to follow the link that's in the description. And if you're interested in supporting her, I've included the link to her Patreon as well. As always, thank you for supporting me and watching my show. If you liked the video that you saw, don't forget to hit that like button, as well as don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you know when new videos get posted. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!